Hi, everybody. I'm Reverend Therese, and this is Unity Spiritual Center. Thanks for joining us, whatever time it is, whatever day it is. We're grateful that you're here. So let's take a moment before we talk today about what is a commitment to a spiritual life. Let's start in prayer as we always do in Unity. So I invite you to close your outer eyes if you're comfortable, or ease your gaze, and take in a deep breath and exhale. Living, loving presence, in this sacred moment, we remember that we stand in the flow of eternal truth. Each of us, a part of the great continuum of spiritual awakening, a movement illumined by the Christ consciousness, which lives within each of us. We affirm in this now moment that truth is ever present, and it is our ever-present reality, waiting to be recognized, to be realized and demonstrated. Our purpose is simple and profound: to awaken our inner light from it. May we be clear channels of divine understanding. May we practice the principles that lift the human spirit. May we prove through our lives that the wisdom of the Christ consciousness now lives on through each of us. As we open our minds to insight, our hearts to compassion, and our lives to transformation, let us possibly be changed by something we might hear. We give thanks for the truth that sets us free, and for the courage to embody it today and every day. And so it is, we pray this in the name and through the nature of the living, loving presence that is you and that is me, and so we are. Amen. Reverend Therese, how are you doing this morning, whatever time or night or whenever it is that we're together? We're grateful. So Unity's co-founders were Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And Charles Fillmore wrote a statement about when asked, what is unity? And here's what he wrote. Unity is the link in the great educational movement inaugurated by Jesus the Christ. Our objective is to discern the truth and to prove it. The truth that we teach is not new. Neither do we claim special revelations or discovery of new religious principles. Our purpose in Unity is to help and teach all of humankind, at least all of those we get to meet, to use and prove the eternal truth taught by the master teacher. So I often get asked, what is unity, right? So this is one great explanation. And what do all y'all do? Which is Southern speak, you know. And what I say is we follow how Jesus lived his life. And that always gives everybody great pause. And I don't understand why. We're here to be a demonstration of the great demonstration, to exalt the cause that was Jesus the Christ living back in the day. But I was taught as a little Catholic girl, and I think a lot of the mainline churches teach that we're supposed to distrust ourselves, to surrender our agency, so to speak, to outsource our authority, and to remain dependent. And that is not who I am, if y'all know me, right? So what I ask you to do, and what Unity teaches, is to question what it is you're thinking, and then question it again, and then discern it. And most of all, to live from within yourself. We follow the way that Jesus walked his walk. Because we know a lot of people who talk the talk, don't we? And yet what we want to do is, how do we walk the walk? How do we be truth expressing into the world? Is everyone breathing? Let's do it. And then we exhale. And what we know is every time we breathe, we are healing our bodies. And so do it often. Do it often. What I've come to learn after nearly 40 years, and I'm celebrating my 20th year of ordination, is that Jesus taught the value of a firsthand personal relationship with the God of your understanding. That's a big job. It means that we take in all that we might hear out there in the world and then apply it. Does it feel right? Does it seem as if I'm actually working from the place within myself, that divinity within myself that teaches me that I get to identify with the great creator within? The law that Jesus taught, the law that unity teaches, is compassion. Love is the law and compassion is the practice. Love that. Love is the law and compassion is the practice. So just take a moment and think, if that's how you lived, let me make it personal. If I lived from love is the law and compassion is the practice every single day in every situation that happens, I would be at peace always and in all ways. And yet, what happens? Therese, me, allows my humanity to get in there and my ego. And so this is why in unity, we get back to the center of who we are. Love is the law, compassion is the practice. And this is how we identify with the great creator that we call God in unity. And I'm not sure what you call it, and it's all right, by whatever name. Just call it. So what I have also come to know after 40 years is that unity teaches a coherent theology by which you and I get to understand scriptures as they are, rather than how we would like them to be. Does anybody else like to be in charge? Yeah, right? I call that a control gift. And it's appropriate at sometimes, and sometimes it's not. So what we know, Eric Butterworth, the great Eric Butterworth, who was one of my mentors way back in the day, is that we get to see things rightly. Right? And so we take it all in and then we, kind of wash it all with the understanding of God out into the world, the Christ consciousness that is you and me. And then we get to go and be it in the world. So our interpretation of the Bible, right, which is our main book, is metaphysical, right? And it's based on good exegesis, which means we're going to go in and draw out its intended meaning, the context, the language, and the historical background. And how I like to make that really simple in a teaching is there were no apples historically back in the day when these stories were written about Adam and Eve eating an apple. It was probably a pomegranate. However, what we know is that somewhere along the line, an apple came in and it's become what it is. And it's the fruit of evil, is what some people will say. Well, it wasn't even the right fruit. And how can a fruit be evil? I'm wondering. So, a great statement came out yesterday from Unity World Headquarters in response to the fact that the Pentagon reduced the list of over 200 religions down to 31 plus others. And I'm so proud of our Unity World Headquarters that came out with this statement. And we're always for things. And in Unity, we're never against things. Like our statement of peace is for peace. And it's not against war, right? You can find that on our website. And here's what they said. At Unity, we affirm the inherent dignity, worth, and spiritual identity of every person. We recognize that humanity expresses its relationship with the divine through many paths, traditions, and sincere convictions. We are aware of recent changes in the U.S. Department of Defense religious classification system. I'm not talking politics here, I'm talking religion. The changes significantly reduces the number of recognized faith identities. While administrative systems may change, unity holds that no list can define or limit the universal presence of God, nor the authentic spiritual lives of individuals. Yes. We believe that honoring religious and spiritual diversity strengthens our shared humanity. The ability for individuals to see their faith tradition acknowledged supports belonging, spiritual well-being, and the free exercise of religion. Our unity teachings remind us there is only one presence and one power active in the universe, in all people, and in all faiths. And what we true students like to add there is God the good. Truth is not confined in any single tradition. It is revealed in diverse ways across humanity. Unity goes on to say that spiritual care is most meaningful when it honors the unique beliefs and lived experiences of each individual. Unity joins with others across faith traditions in affirming the importance of religious inclusion, compassionate care, and the freedom of every person to name and live their faith authentically. In all things, unity remains committed to being a voice for inclusivity, understanding, and love in action. Everybody breathe with me. And exhale, and let me read that last statement again. In all things, unity remains committed to being a voice for inclusivity, understanding, and love in action. I love it. So you and I get to study what we study, go to possibly a church on Sunday or watch me or someone else online, and then we get to see how does that fit with what my purpose is, who I've come here to be, so that I can then be the best expression of God, understanding, right? And being inclusive. How does that work best in the world through me and through you? And it's a big deal. And it's a big job to be a Unity True student because there's no one to blame. The actual word is B-L-A-M-E, be lame. No, we focus on the great I am. Intention, attention equals manifestation. I am. And we know this, that it declares the truth of who you and I are by the words that we use after. I am. So say with me, I am a unique, unrepeatable expression of God. Let's say it together again. I am a unique, unrepeatable expression of God. And exhale. That's right. You are a big deal. What I tell my folks here and, or wherever I'm speaking is you are all that in 2 bags of chips, right? Or whatever it is, 2 bags of chocolate, 2 bags of whatever it is that we choose. And you and I get to remind ourselves of that every single day. So what I found from a colleague whose name is Jim Palmer, a listing of universal moral teachings founded in nearly every major tradition. So it's across Christianity, or what I call in Unity is Christ-likeness. Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, Sikhism, Shinto, and others. Here's the list. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Known as the Golden Rule, right? Tell the truth. Honesty is the foundation to trust and to justice. And really, honesty with ourselves is what keeps us sane and moving forward step by step. Don't steal or exploit. Okay. Respect others' property, labor, dignity, and rights. Number 4, control destructive desires, which are greed and lust and rage and envy and excess. Everyone is warm about them. Number 5, show compassion. Care for the poor, for the weak, the stranger, the sick, the suffering. Number 6, honor parents, elders, lineage, which is about respecting those who gave life, wisdom, and stewardship, which is what we've also done, right? For those of us who are over 50 at this point, right? Seek self-discipline, number 7. And so that's inviting us to master the self, the small s self, before trying to have anything to do with others. So we move from the small s self to the big S self. And the big S self is the truth of us, the divine, the whole, right? The very Christ nature within us. Number 8, pursue justice and fairness. Power does not get to excuse wrongdoing, ever. Number 9, practice gratitude and humility. How often do you say thank you in a day? It's my favorite word. We are filled with gratitude, and when it's expressed, we also heal our bodies. Heart math tells us that. Number 10, live in harmony with something greater than your small s self. So we call it God in unity. It's called truth, nature, dharma, Tao, moral law, divine order. So again, as unity truth students, we're not told what to think. We're told, please think. Please think. Go inside, sit with the God of your understanding. Breathe and exhale and make your decisions from that point. So across the world's major religious and philosophical traditions, there is, I think we would all agree, disagreement regarding metaphysics and the nature of divinity and afterlife and prophetic authority and ritual practice. And there is a recurring ethical convergence. Teachings consistently emphasize that greed and cruelty and deception and arrogance undermined both individual character, social stability, and humility, honesty, restraint, and compassion support human flourishing. I'm wondering, are you willing to flourish right where you are? Right as you are in this now moment? That's my favorite question. Are you willing? So let's take a moment and move from the outerness, and I'm going to take us into a time of meditation. So I ask you again to concentrate on your breathing that takes us ever deeper within, where each of us meets the God of our own understanding. So let's do that. We breathe in and we exhale. We breathe in and we exhale. And so I invite us to settle into the quiet center of our being, to embrace the stillness and become aware of the flow of eternal truth within us. We become aware of the flow of eternal truth within us, not outside of us, moving in through and as you and as me. And we exhale. We breathe in again. We rest in this now moment, knowing that we are participants in a timeless unfolding of a spiritual awakening. We know this. We know this to be true. And as we breathe gently, we feel the alignment of ourselves with the inner light that is us. That unity and many other teachings call forth from us to brighten the world. You are the light of the world. I am the light of the world. And we breathe again. It is this unchanging reality that waits patiently for our recognition. I love that line. So this reality of the inner light residing within you and me never goes away. We just have to remember it. We get to call it forth because it waits patiently for our recognition. Each and every one of us, everyone, everywhere. So let's relax into this awareness. And our affirmation is truth is something that is to be realized, not something to be acquired. Truth is something to be realized, not something to be acquired. I remember being taught that back in 1990. This truth is the ground of our being, the wisdom that guides us, the love that heals us, the power that lifts us. Feel yourself becoming a clear channel of divine understanding. And as we go into a time of silence, let the resistance soften. Let any confusion dissolve. You as a clear channel of divine understanding in the silence. Allow the principles of spiritual law to rise within you, quietly, naturally, just like light fills a room. And so as we bring our attention back to this time and this space, these sacred and holy grounds we call Unity Spiritual Center, we remember that our lives are the proving ground of truth. Every thought, every choice, every act becomes an opportunity for you and me to express in our unique own ways the consciousness of our master teacher, alive through us and as us, the Christ consciousness out into the world. So take a moment and look into I can't see you, but I can feel you. Right? And we open our minds today to insight. We open our hearts to compassion. And in this openness, we give great thanks. We allow gratitude to well up inside of us, not as a ritual, no, rather as a realization of the good that's already present. You know the song, count your blessings, name them one by one. I don't sing professionally, and that's why, right? So we get to count our many blessings, name them one by one. And so each day, each moment, as we breathe in and we exhale, we feel the freedom of the truth that we know, that unity teaches us. And we feel the courage awakening within us, stirring our heart to live from this Christ conscious awareness out in the world, today and every day. And so it is. We say thank you. We are grateful. Amen. And we exhale. So as you're so moved and you want to support our ministry, we are self-sustaining, please, our P.O. Box is P.O. Box 1392, Bluffton, South Carolina, Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head. And on our website at www.unityofhiltonhead.org. And there's a practice generosity button for which we're so grateful to do the will and the work that is ours as Unity Spiritual Center. So let's say the prayer for protection together twice. Once for ourselves and once for the world and all of our leaders. All right? So, might have changed it up a bit since we've done this together. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is. And as everybody likes to say, and because God is, all is well. For all of the leaders all over the world, Unity World Headquarters, all of everybody everywhere, in every decision-making position that our leaders are in across the world, making laws and setting up traditions and all sorts of things. Together, please. The light of God surrounds you. You are the light. The love of God enfolds you. You are the love. The power of God protects you. You are the power. And the presence of God watches over you. You are the presence. Wherever all y'all are, we know that God is. And we know that because God is, then you and I are blessed, as is the world. And so it is, we let it be. Thanks for being with us. I'm Reverend Therese Lee. This is Unity Spiritual Center, signing off. Many blessings. Namaste.